Okay, so here goes. I was recording these videos, doing my little Pinky Promise segment when my daughter called me. And I can't even describe the feeling I felt when she gave me that news that I was going to see all three of them at once right before Mother's Day. My kids are kind of private, so I'm not going to share anything about them. But I can share my elation about it, about our dinner, about us all coming together. I can definitely share how I feel. The elation and the joy and the prayers answered is something I just can't describe right now. I'm so glad that I'm sober. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad that I'm ready. I'm so glad that God picked now, because it was such a long time coming. And I just wanted to say that doing Pinky Promise really makes me happy. The other night I laid here and like, why am I doing this? And I said, because it's something that you want to do. It's something that you've always wanted to do on a different scale. You know, you wanted somebody to give you a chance to do this. You wanted somebody to turn your books into movies. You wanted to talk. You wanted to finally get shit off your chest. So that's why you're doing it. That's why you created the logo. That's why you bought the equipment. That's why you buying promotional materials. That's why you bought a gaming desk with lights. That's why the speaker that you got, you know, goes all together, because it was meant to be. That's why everything over there is something you put together with your hands, and it's something you enjoy doing. It doesn't matter how many likes and views you get. It's something you get rewarding from. You know what I mean? You work your job all day. You take care of your bills, your car, and yourself. You want to come home to something. You know what I'm saying? It's not a man. It's not a husband. Because I don't want that here anymore. I had that here. I had the husband here. It didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? I sacrificed everything for that marriage, and it just didn't work out. So not only is it over, I have some resentment towards the marriage because of everything I lost because of the marriage. So I'm not going to harp on that, though. You know, and as far as the man, I have a man. I have a man that comes when I tell him to come, and we have a joyous and a wonderful time together. You know what I mean? Personality-wise, physically, mentally, we vibe. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard to find. So I had my bipolar show today, and I was so reluctant on doing it because I didn't want to share too much of me. But in the process of delivering the show, something wonderful came. You know what I mean? And timing to me is everything. So as I sit here and go over the videos that had no sound, those videos wasn't meant to have sounds, because I was so emotional at one of them. You know what I mean? The other one was a whole segment I did, and I didn't even have my speaker on. After that call and that text from my baby, everything else went up in the air. Poof. You know what I mean? And it's such a good poof. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that God put a date on the calendar. You know, for something I've been asking him for a long time. He put the date on it. There's an actual date, and it's not even far away. You know what I mean? So, oh boy, I have that to look forward to. And God, let me tell you something. God told me, if you give all of that other shit up, I'm going to give you what you want. I gave all that other stuff up for me because I wanted to live better. You know what I mean? And it just didn't bring me anything good, So the last few years, I've been putting my life back together. You know what I'm saying? Because it went awry in 2013. And I just kept losing. And God didn't bless no mess. As long as I was in that marriage with that person, because I'm not trying to disparage him today. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about me. I was with him. And as long as I was there, God wasn't letting nothing grow. Nothing prospered. You know what I mean? I just was rolling. I was going in circles. I was chasing my tail, never not catching it. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I want to thank God for the discernment, the ability to see for myself what everybody else or what other people saw clear as day, but I couldn't. You know what I mean? God gave me discernment, and he let me lay here and look at my life and look what I had, and it just wasn't attractive to me anymore, and I had to be out of that marriage because it didn't make me feel good being in it anymore. You know what I mean? So, and fast forward to today, I made other changes in my life that benefited me. You know what I mean? And like being closer to God, going to church, even though I always went to church. I went to church when I was broken down and on drugs and sick in my head and living in Queens out of my fucking mind with this man. You know what I mean? I went to church every Sunday just to find the peace that God can restore to me. You know what I mean? And going back to the baseline like my grandmother taught me. I've always found a church. When I was in Cali, everywhere I've been, I found a church because I know what gives me the solace and the peace. It's the presence of God in my life. And since I've lived out here, I've been living out here 7 years, since 2019, the year my grandmother died. A month after my grandmother died, they called me for this apartment. And I had been living in rooms and living, by the college that I was going to. But because of the lifestyle my husband afforded me, when he went to jail, I went, I had nowhere to go. And there were so many times I left him because I couldn't take the lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So I went and I lived in rooms for like maybe how many years? 3 years? Yeah, two in one place and one in another. So I've been through a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even saying it's no one's fault. It's life just happened to me, because of the decisions I made. You know what I mean? I ended up where I was. You know what I'm saying? I always say today, what you put in this universe, you get back. You know what I'm saying? I destroyed a family that was working. You know what I'm saying? For my selfish greed. And I can't get into this here. This is all in the book I wrote. I wrote books. I'm going to do a book expose, I can't, I'm not trying to introduce my books here, but my books hold sacred stories of actual events that transpire in my life. And that's why I wrote them, to get it off of me. You know what I mean? So now I have Pinky Promise. I get to talk, because I wrote 4 books. I'm not trying to write another book. This morning I was laying up here thinking about writing a book about Haiti because he's so fucking spectacular in my life right now. And he told me he wanted his own book because the guy in Jamaica got a book. You know what I'm saying? But I think I may write him a short story book because he deserves it, and he's Mr. fucking wonderful in my life right now, But I'm ready for the next step that God has given me. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to be a mom again. You know what I'm saying? I miss my family, and, I had my girls all their lives. You know what I'm saying? My son and I was separated in 2013. But since then, it caused a ruckus, a domino effect to the whole family. And, I'm ready to take accountability. and be honest and, talk to my children and see what it is that I can do to make our lives better and our relationships better, because I can't go back to potty training. I gotta meet them where they are now, and be the mom for them, however that looks, however they may need. You know what I mean? And like I was saying the other day, I wish I was different mom. I wish I didn't do this. I wish I didn't do that. But we can't go back there. All we can do is pray and learn from our mistakes. And like I said, meet them all, each individually where they are, and just see how I can be a help and a mom to them. You know what I'm saying? Because my grandmother is not here, and my grandmother was a mom to everyone. But I'm their mom, and they don't have a mom other than me. You know what I'm saying? And my life is filled with blessings right now, and I want the blessings that came from my lineage in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I've been praying for this day for a very long time. And finally God saw to it, and all of them agreed on a date to, meet me. And I'm so happy about that. Like, I'm overjoyed. I can't stop crying. Like it's such a happy, joyful cry. I need my children in my life, And I said I wasn't going to sit here and talk about them, but I'm talking about my emotions about this situation, you know what I'm saying? And we got a lot of healing to do, because we can't just put a white tablecloth over it and think it's pure. It's a lot of things to happen, and it's a lot of feelings that they have. And I'm open to hearing them, and I'm open to receiving them, and I'm open to, taking accountability with them, and I'm open to working, because they're worth it. You know what I'm saying? There's no other 3 children in this world that's more worth it than them. They're mine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm missing so many good years with them, and I missed enough. And I asked God, like during my last manic episode, it was all about them, really. I labeled it Easter. I labeled it Mama died. But my kids not having them in my life, that's what the fuck it was about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get tired of waking up and, and the girls have been in my life up until a year ago, And it's the confusion with my son that caused us to, to bicker. You know what I mean? So don't get it twisted. My girls have always been in my life, but when the boy came back, they protected him. You know what I'm saying? And they did what any sister would do for their brother, because I've done it for mine. You know what I'm saying? And they protected him, his feelings, respected how he felt. And it took a little time, but he's ready. And now they're ready to present the whole package. Like, I miss all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit keeps me up at night. Okay, those are my 3 children. But anyway, God did a thing today. We have a date on the calendar. They're going to pick a venue, and I'm going to show up, and we're going to act like people. And that's what my grandmother would say. Oh, y'all come out, y'all act like people. That means don't embarrass her, So I'm very grateful. My video had no sound, but I just put the sound on it. God did a thing, and I am forever grateful for him. And I just got to get to the day and keep praying, because the work is just beginning. Okay? The boulder has been moved, but it's time to go in and do the work now. Amen.